There are more of us. Hello, what have we here? And welcome, Tommy, to the There Are More of Us show. How's it going?
Hello, it's going well. I'm always a bit nervous when I come on podcasts that my voice is going to sound like kind of lame. And this one, in comparison to yours, it definitely will. So I'm gonna be thinking
No,
about that the whole time, but I am excited to be here.
no. It's none of that at all.
I'll
Uh,
hire you to record audiobooks for me.
well, hey, I'm available.
Cool. Good to know.
All right. So obviously, I'm familiar with your work, but for people that aren't, what kind of content do you make?
I am a comic book writer. I'm like seeing what I have on my desk right now. I work on, yeah, that's one that's called At the End. That's about a guy named Garf who learns he's going to die on the first page and then desperately tries to prevent you from continuing the book and turning the page and leading to his death. It's a lot of fun, plenty of jokes. Here's another one. This is one's coming up very soon called Mustn't Tell.
Ooh.
It's a comic about two kids trying to fight a ghost. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I write stories that are all like kind of like emotional and mental health focused. I like the idea of helping out kids who might kind of like not have the resources and like the kind of the fiction to understand their nonfiction.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of my things focus on that, and it's a lot of fun. Um, and yeah, it's just living the dream of making stuff that people like. It's very cool.
And I can attest to at the end it is very funny. It was seeing on Twitter all the jokes about
Mhm.
Garp, and I'm like, I haven't read it yet, so I don't get it. And then I got it at New York Comic Con when I met you, and I was just like, okay, see, now I get it. I get it.
Yeah, no, it's been that was like the first comic. I feel like this conversation won't be fun for people that don't know it, but who cares? That was the first comic where people just started like latching on to it in a way that like never happened before. I think because it's like such a weird premise. So there was like a little cult of Garf that popped up just about keeping him alive, and that was fun to play into. And
Mhm.
I saw a lot of tweets that were just like, "What is Garf? Why are you guys talking about this?" And that was even better. That was awesome.
It's like what was it Cockers or whatever for those that know.
I don't know.
Cocers. I have no
Oh,
idea how to
oh my
actually
God! No,
say it.
I'm the main perpetrator of that one.
Yeah, I was like, I have no idea how to
I've
actually
never,
say it.
no one's ever pronounced it out loud. I think Cosers would be.
Coasters. Well, see,
Don't we have to edit this out for my credibility. Aiden's gonna be too happy that I completely forgot about it for a second.
well, no one said it
No,
out
let's do
loud.
this whole thing about coasters now. So for those who don't know, I don't even remember the background. Rachel Stott, Tot, Rachel Tot, Stott,
Stop.
Stott, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Rachel Stott posted something, or there was an update about a cover she was doing, and our resident bully bullied person Hayden said, "Love your coasters, queen," meaning covers. And it's the smallest typo that we've run with. Shout out to Bell for keeping it alive. Shout out to Bell for your really good covers. That was announced today. Yeah, and now you're in the loop. If you know Hayden on Twitter, go bully her. That's my demand for this podcast. You don't got to support my stuff. Go bully Hayden.
We love Hayden. Especially since she has shot me with Nerf darts while I was Darth Vader. So
Oh,
yeah,
that,
canon.
yeah. Was that why she was also Valence?
Uh, was she balanced that day? I don't know. There's only so much I can see outside of that Vader.
You're very brave for wearing that. I would be terrified. Like I get tunnel vision at cons, like without anything on my face. So to do all that with something on your face and having every single person want to take a picture with you and run up to you, that is brave.
you know, it's fun most of
Mhm.
the time.
Yeah, I know.
But you're obviously a Star Wars fan. What is
Yeah.
your Star Wars story? How'd you get into it, and why do you love it?
I always get nervous because I have a slight amount of credibility in the fandom. People seem to think I'm important and cool. But my
You
Star
are
Wars
important and cool.
Thank you. But from a Star Wars perspective, my like background in it is like the most straightforward, goofiest it could possibly be, which is mainly I watched The Phantom Menace when I was five. I just went to it. I had no idea what it was. I was 5. I barely knew what colors were at that point, but um, but all I knew was that there was pod racing, Jar Jar Binks, and those like little sticks that I was hitting my friends with. That's what this is from. So that just like blew my mind that there was so much like random nonsense thrown into one movie. And just at that point, I have never seen anything like it. So it like blew up my brain of like afterwards going home, going to like my friend across the street's house, and we pretend that we were pod racing, and it just like it came to me at like the perfect time to just like open up my brain and want to use my imagination in a more grander scale than I had been used to. I have memories of playing like Bugs Life on the playground when I was in like preschool, but like that's nothing. That was very like socially led. All the kids were like, let's play Bugs Life, but like Star Wars was the first time where uh, it was just like I was by myself pretending to do these things. Just like it like just infested my brain in like the best possible way. And as a 5-year-old, I love the talk about the trade blockages. Um, Kids really love that stuff. I was like, Mom, do you know any other movies with trade federations, blockages, and all that? And she was like, no. But I got all the toys, and that was cool. I, for some reason, was obsessed with the Anakin Skywalker action figure, like the boy one, that is just him standing like this, and that's all he does. He barely moves. But for some reason, I was like, I'm a boy too. They finally made an action figure of a boy like me, and that for some reason got me. He was my favorite one, and I had no idea like the context behind any of it, so I just liked it. And then my mom was like, I think I was in like a doctor's office just playing with it, and my mom said, "You know that guy?" And I was like, "Yeah," and she goes, "He's Luke's dad," and I was like, "I don't know who Luke is, but good for him. He's got a cool dad, I guess." And then Attack of the Clones came out, and I did not see it for some reason because I was like 8, I think, and I couldn't go to the movie theater. My mom didn't take me, so I didn't see it for years later. I saw Revenge of the Sith before I saw Attack of the Clones. So that's the Tommy order. Everyone always says what order to watch Star Wars in. It's 1, 3, 2 on like TNT with commercials, so you only kind of watch it, and then 4, 5, and 6 when you're in middle school, and that's how you really get the full story.
Yeah,
that's my Star Wars story.
And then 7, 8, and 9, like 13 years later.
You have to watch those on release order when they come out. You have to go to theaters for that. Otherwise, tough luck. They're great movies, but that's the only way to watch them. That's the Tommy order.
Well, who knows? In a year, it'll be the 10th anniversary of The Force Awakens. It very well may be re-released in theaters.
Yeah, I hope they do. That'd be fun, actually. They won't, but that'd be fun.
Yeah. So, as having been a fan for so long, I'm sure you got some favorites. So, let's kick it off with your favorite Star Wars book. Canon, Legends, doesn't matter.
Book. I am a terrible reader, which is another thing people are going to make fun of me for. I'm just the slowest, so I'm behind on everything. But my current favorite one, and I actually have it next to me because I like props, is High Republic Adventures, specifically Phase 1. Phase 2, I've only read a bit of, and I need to finish it. I was going to wait for the trade, which I think is out now. Doesn't matter. But Phase 1, I love a lot. I love all these characters. Shout out to Court. He's the best. I just think Daniel did a great job, like, creating this like group of friends and then just absolutely destroying them and making you care about all of them. And I love like the like, it's not quite a dyad, but like the comparisons between the Nile and the Jedi and all that. And it's just good. I like it a lot.
DJO is goated. That is canon, as he would say.
We need to get him a bigger gavel.
I feel like.
Can you steal one?
I mean, I can order. You know what? We should just get him an engraved one.
That'd be good.
And you know what? And when's the next con he's going to be at? We'll save that for offline. We can't spoil this for people. We'll get Sage involved.
What's your favorite?
My favorite. So I would say my favorite book is the Revenge of the Sith novelization.
Okay.
Favorite comic book would be Star Wars Obsession, which was Legends. It came out right before Revenge of the Sith, and it's so Obi-Wan, or the galaxy believes Ventress is dead.
Mhm.
Obi-Wan is sure she's alive, and so it's his quote unquote obsession with trying to find her.
I've
Really
never heard of
good.
that before.
Yeah, it
I'm
was part of
gonna quickly
the
Google that so I can look at it after this.
yeah, it was a part of the Dark Horse Star Wars Republic
Oh,
run
okay.
that I said I was going to cover on YouTube, and then I was just like, well, you start off the first two arcs dealing with Kia D Mundi. He's like my least favorite Jedi, and it's tough to talk about.
I'm so sorry, but it sounds very fun. I see the theme. You definitely like that era of Star Wars, which I appreciate.
Yeah, the prequel. I mean, when we grew up, there was just an onslaught of just material, books,
Yeah.
games, comic books, trading cards, video games, everything.
George had a plan.
A chess set,
He was doing.
a Phantom Menace chess set.
A chess set seems obvious. If we're gonna nitpick the crazy ones, I would say there was definitely worse things in the chess set.
Yeah. All right. Going in the characters, legends or canon, 3 of your favorites.
All right, so right off the bat, we got Droopy McCool, who I have a tiny version of on my nightstand that I put on for a Twitter gag 10 minutes ago. He's over there. There he is.
Droopy McCool.
He's the number one, which started off as a goof, but has evolved into much more. And then the second one is Captain Rex, but the one from Star Tours, which I think is R3X technically, right? I forget.
Mm-hmm.
But and then the third one, I want to say Nubs because everyone associates me with him, and he is great, but he's new. I don't have a big connection with him. People are gonna be mad at me for that, but that's fine. I would have to say it's got to be some weirdo that is not at all important. Oh no, I would say there's I think it's a mouse droid on Star Tours that falls into a hole right before the ride starts and dies.
Oh,
terribly.
yeah.
Yeah, that's my third one. This is like everyone's had that day, you know. Hopefully he survived. He's dead though. If Star Wars fandom, name him if he's not named already, please. I want to know. Someone tell me.
Swagman do a name contest campaign.
That'd be fun.
That mouse
name it after me. I also am probably going to die at work.
I feel like if Nubs ever speaks basic, the only word Nubs should say is Tommy. That's it.
That'd be nice. Or Chaos. I'm still pushing to voice his dad, which I think should be called Dubs.
Dubs, Nubs.
Tubbs, Nubs, and then he has gay dads. What was the name? I think Dubs was the other one. Someone on Twitter nailed it.
Tubbs
so
and
Tubbs, Dubs, and Nubs. They're a big happy family.
What is your favorite Star Wars quote?
That's a great question. That was the one that you had sent me this beforehand, and I couldn't put one together. Actually, and I was going to do a joke, but it might be Rex saying Lightspeed to Endor, just because that was like I was terrified of Star Tours as a kid, and it's now obviously one of my most like favorite Star Wars things. I think that there should be a million more Star Wars stuff that's just for goofs and just like not canon and fun. And that is like my prime example of why it works and why it's fun, because they like time travel and jump between dimensions and stuff in that ride, and no one cares because it's a good time. But him saying Lightspeed Endor, I remember when I was a kid, I was absolutely terrified of it. Like for the first like at least like 5 or 6 years I can remember going to the parks, I would always skip it, and I was like so afraid that when we would go on to like the boarding part of the ride, I would just sprint through the aisle to like get out to the other side because I thought like the door was going to close on me and the ride would just start and I would be flung into space or something. I don't know. But eventually I became not afraid of it. And I remember how quickly I just appreciated it and liked it when I was like 7 or something, 7 or 8. Hopefully it was 7 or 8. It might have been like 12. My mom was a little weirdo. But yeah, so just like the reminder of him saying Lightspeed Endor, it's like the big... Is it the finale moment? I think it's in the finale. It's been a while since I watched the original one, but I think it's the finale one at the end as opposed to like in the beginning. And it's just like, it reminds me of when I was a kid and I like conquered even the tiniest of fears. So like, I like the personal touch that I have with that quote. I'm sure there's better ones out there, but that's mine.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Star Tours because that's the category of your mystery box question. So you get to design a Star Tours version, because they're like 7 or 8 now in there. So
Mm-hmm.
you got to pick 3 planets that you get to go visit. Because I think that you visit 3 in a ride, and you can put it in any era.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I just did this on a different podcast, but I will do it seriously because I did it as a complete joke for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, so I think because part of me is also just wanting to say the ones on the actual ride that I don't get to go to, because that ride has me at my most like sequel hater version of myself. Because obviously I love those movies, but I get really mad when I go on Star Tours 11 times in a row and it's always a sequel era planet, no matter what, because they're trying to promote them. I get it. I respect the hustle, but I really want other planets. So definitely Tatooine because I want a pod racer section on there. Like I want it so bad that I'm resisting the urge to just say I leave and then come back and I pod race again. We can go with Kashyyyk. That seems easy. And then what's the planet where Solo steals in Solo when they steal the coaxium in the big train heist?
Oh,
Because that's not a Star Tours scene, but like that should be, like that would work really well as a Star Tours scene. It's not a funny answer, but like
I'm gonna look it up on Google.
I want the train heist scene where everyone dies horribly, and I want it to be shown, And instead of a rebel spy, we get someone who has to go out of the ride vehicle and steal a coaxium and bring it back to us.
Bandor 1. That is the planet. Bandor
Cool.
1.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll go to that one.
There it is.
And then we go back to Tatooine for more pod racing because there's not enough pod racing in modern Star Wars, and there should be. And I will die on that hill. I'll pod race around that hill. I'll die on that Beggar's Canyon. I want it so bad.
Yeah, I remember. So there was obviously there's Phantom Menace, and then in the Jude Watson books, in the Jedi Quest one, Anakin had to pod race again. I think using Sebulba's pod racer, like he had to team up with Sebulba, and I don't think it was on Tatooine. I think it was on a different planet. I think those are the only 2 mentions of pod racing that I can think of.
They gotta bring it back. I would love a Sebulba redemption just because I think that'd be funny. A Sebulbdemption. We can coin that. But they need to do more. It's so easy to market. Everyone gets their own little special car that they race in. It's like NASCAR. That's great. Like that's easy toys. Let's go. Round 2. Make a whole TV show.
Do Star Wars Mario Kart just with pod racing.
Well, that's the racer game, but like more accessible. Because that's my mom. My mom will always say that's her favorite game. She doesn't really care about Star Wars that much, but anytime you ask her what her favorite game is, she goes, "That one that you guys played with Anakin in it." And then I have all the old consoles, so I'll set it up for her, and then she'll immediately crash it, and she goes, "Actually, I don't like the game that much." And like years later, she'll want to do it again. If they made an accessible one that isn't the Bombad racing one, because I think that is Mario Kart. We don't want that. That's not pod racing. That's just everyone's big headed or whatever. We want pod racing that my mom can play. That's what it says on the box.
And put it on the Wii.
Put it on the Wii. Bring back the
Wii.
Bring back the Wii. You have to have two controllers that you hold like this, and you go, and you go whatever they do in the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, that's marketable. Lucasfilm. There you go.
They're not allowed to use that idea now because it's too good, and I'll sue them. That's how it works. You know that.
So the last question, music. What is your favorite musical piece from Star Wars?
This is too easy of a question. It's Jedi Rocks. That's the official name for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to like get it wrong and have it like be something that's in like Hut or whatever. Yeah. What was the original one? But was it always? It was something else before then, right?
I think
before they added the CGI stuff.
I think that was always Jedi Rocks. They just did the. They
added Yowza.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, then Jedi Rocks. It has to be because that's my whole brand. Like if I didn't say that, they'd make me remove the hashtag from my Twitter bio, and that's not cool. So definitely Jedi rocks.
Oh wait, no, it was only in the special edition. So then, what did come before it?
Haha. It's like I know a little bit.
It replaced Lapti Neck.
Maybe I'll say that. Maybe I'll go for the B side. You know, even though I can't remember it off the top of my head, I've only seen the special editions recently. Like a good George Lucas fan.
You know, we just need to get the originals re-released on Blu-ray. Physical media is forever. Buy Laserdisc.
True. That's true. I think I am shocked they haven't tried to make that money yet. It's very easy money to make.
Yep. But before we go, thank you again for coming on. But if you want to plug anything that you got coming up, I know you did earlier, but if you want to plug it again,
we can do more.
People know where to find you.
Yes. My most common social media is Twitter, which is a curse. It's Tommy _Stella. Underscore is a little dash at the bottom. You can find me on there. I'm a very mutable account. Once you follow me, feel free to mute. I tweet too much. I work from home. It's tough. And then I will be launching a Kickstarter for this comic that I held up earlier. Technically, it's for issues 1 and 2, but issues 1, I have a print that I can hold up. But when do you think this is going up? We're launching in a few days. Do you think it'll be up by then?
This will be up.
Look.
Yeah, we need but this will be up in March. So
cool.
It'll be up then.
I'll be launching a Kickstarter for this. It should be up by the time you watch this. Just head over to my Twitter profile or go on Kickstarter.com. And if it's not on the homepage, write into Kickstarter and say, hey, this wasn't on the homepage. I was promised it'd be on the homepage. And that will probably get me on the homepage. Just anger them into it. We're going to have issues 1 and 2. It is a spooky story. My pitch is like, what if Disney Animation did a horror movie? So it's full of like a lot of like the classic jokes that are kind of for everyone, but it's also going to have a lot of emotion. After issue 2, things get pretty crazy and a lot of people will be crying. Sorry, but that's just how it is. And yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be like $15 to back 2 issues, which is fairly cheap for Kickstarter. And I'm very excited, and I hope people support it because I worked really hard on getting this thing up, and it's freaking me out a little bit, but it should be fun. It'll be fun. We're going to have fun here.
Yeah, we're going to have fun.
Yeah.
Thank you again for coming on, and make sure that you all support Tommy. Follow him on Twitter. This Kickstarter will be in the description below. Make sure you check it out. You're not going to want to miss it, because if at the end is any indication of the tip of the iceberg that is Tommy's talent, you're going to really enjoy it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of the There Are More of Us show. And always remember, there are more of us.
Bye.